Hi guys, welcome back. So once again, I'm the Dave half of Dave and Diane Throwing Caution to the Wind, and today we want to answer a few questions we've been asked numerous times, and that is, what type of truck do we use to pull our 24,000 pound fifth wheel around? Well, hang on a minute and we'll share some information with you. Alright, so hopefully the wind isn't bad enough that it interferes too much with the video. If it does, I apologize. So what you're looking at is a 2018 Ram 5500 with a 6.7 liter turbo diesel Cummins engine, followed up by a 6-speed Aisin transmission, and we're running 488 gears in the rear end. That gives us the max tow package described by Ram. So we bought this truck cab and chassis. We had Classy chassis in Indiana build the hauler bed. We also had them rip out the original rear suspension, and they installed a Kelderman air ride suspension in the rear. I'll try to get some shots of that. Not sure how good that'll turn out. We also had them install the 90-gallon auxiliary fuel tank you see there in the bed, and they installed our trailer saver fifth wheel hitch. A couple features as we walk around. You'll notice the Laverne step sides. You notice the tow holds right here. So when I'm hooking up the fifth wheel or filling up the auxiliary fuel tank, those come in handy. This is the fuel access to the stock tank. So along with the 90-gallon auxiliary tank, we opted to keep the 52-gallon stock tank in the rear. So that gives us a little over 140 gallons of fuel when we're traveling down the road. Because we opted to have that stock fuel tank left in, we had to put the spare tire in the bed, which is fine. We don't plan to haul any bark dust or refrigerators anyway, so it works out fine for us. Speaking of the spare tire, I suppose you see that there is no cover over that tire. It's exposed to the sun. Originally it wasn't that way. We had a real nice painted to match cover on that. But while going over Wolf Creek Pass one time, it decided to vacate the area, blew away. I did contact Classy Chassis about that, and they said they'd sell us a new one for 350 bucks. Even though they kind of figured out that the design of their old one was a little flimsy, and the vacuum from a fifth wheel that the fifth wheel created on the bed of the truck had a tendency to pull those off and make them fly away. But even though I kind of consider that a design flaw, they didn't see it that way, so they want to charge 350 bucks. And I think I'll buy an inexpensive tonneau cover from Amazon and put it on there and call it good. All the lights on the truck are all LED. You'll notice the headache rack on the back of the truck. That's really there just for aesthetics. But it is a great place to add some extra lighting on the back. And I do plan on coming out later tonight and shooting a video with all the lights on and give you an idea what that looks like. You'll notice on the back bumper here, we still have the OEM backup sensors. There's also the original sensors on the front of the truck. There's also a nice little tailgate that plops down. Doesn't seem like much of a tailgate, but it does help keep some things in there. And to step up in the bed, it's kind of nice to drop that down for easier access. And you'll notice here we have another lighting adapter, so if we want to pull a trailer, if we want to throw a ball on, that plate comes off and we can hook up a ball there. And we have some tie downs. You'll see some tie downs here in the bed of the truck. I haven't had a need to use them, but they're there. Another auxiliary light in the bed. Here's where we hook up our fifth wheel for power. And I apologize if this shooting into the sun isn't working out too well, but we'll just cruise around this side real fast. 19.5 inch wheels and tires. Chrome front end, which is pretty, but also a booger to keep clean, as many of you probably know. And if we open it up, we'll take a look inside. So very comfortable as far as trucks go. Actually very comfortable compared to some cars, I guess. All power windows, locks, all the basic stuff. Heated and cooled power seats. This gauge right here is the fuel gauge for our auxiliary fuel tank. So the way it works is we run off of the stock tank. When it gets down to 3/4 tank, the pump on the auxiliary tank kicks on and it fills the OEM tank. So this monitor you see here is what we use when we're hooked up to the fifth wheel. We have 3 cameras on the fifth wheel, and if you watched our video on the fifth wheel, you would have seen that. I'll put a link to that in our description, by the way. And we can see all 3 cameras at one time, or 1 camera at a time, or any combination that we see fit. We actually have one more port. We could add a 4th camera if we wanted to. I just haven't figured out where I want to add that camera. We actually use a a Garmin GPS. It's a trucker's GPS. We opted not to do the sunroof in this truck. We've had sunroofs in about every car we've ever owned, and they're shut probably 90% of the time, so not a big deal for us. Onto the back seat here. We have our golf clubs back there right now, but as you can see, these create a nice flat platform. For times like these, we just use it for storage, which is usually how this truck is. But we can obviously take the clubs out. These pieces right here fold up, and the seats fold down, and we can haul people with us. And those seats are actually heated and cooled as well. As I'm walking around, I will mention one thing. If you notice how our fifth wheel hitch is mounted on those rails down below, that's a fine system, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in our case, we had to move our pin as high as we could on our fifth wheel to try and get it to ride as even as we could. So we're not 100% level, but we're close enough it's not an issue. But I'm pretty sure that if we had this fifth wheel hitch mounted directly to the floor, to the bed of the truck, we would be 100% level. So I think in the future, I may see if I can take those rails off and mount that fifth wheel hitch directly to the bed. But as I mentioned, it's not that far off, so I'm not too awfully worried about it, to be honest with you. All right, so something else I should bring up while I'm talking about the inside of the truck are these 2 switches. Now these 2 switches go to the Kelderman air ride. This switch turns on and off the compressor, and this switch, when I flip it, it allows the rear of the truck to squat 4 inches. So it's a dump valve, and relieves all the air pressure out of the back. I have not had a need to use that yet, but I'm pretty sure if you were hauling trailers, or maybe even sometime in the future in some situation, hooking up and unhooking the fifth wheel might come in handy. But so far I haven't used it. I just leave them on all the time. Alright, so let me try and show you the cargo bays. I'm hoping with the bright Arizona sunshine we're having today that you can see something in the cargo bays, but I'm not going to guarantee it. So first thing you might notice is the locking mechanisms. Very sturdy. All metal, no plastic here. And, as I mentioned before, the struts on these doors, very nice. So in this bay, this is on the driver's side, the front bay. I use this for tools. So I keep my tool bag in here, my knee pads, tarps in case I need to lay on the ground. And this is also where I fill the DEF. Underneath that tool bag is actually my socket set, so you can see there's a lot of height in there. So this bay, I keep the torque wrench, I keep the cords for our camera system, I keep our safety cones, work gloves, whatever apparatuses I need to work with the fifth wheel hitch. Now these bays, this bay here goes back to these sections here and here. So that's pretty good size. And again, this is a double struts on this door. So very nice system. Now this back cargo compartment, these are the smallest of all of them. I leave this one open all the time, or at least unlocked all the time. This is where I keep the one of many fire extinguishers, and I put some leveling blocks in here. Now I'm going to go to the other side. I'll be videoing into the sun, so probably won't work out very well, but we'll give her a go. So on this side, I keep some miscellaneous tools in here. I keep our bottle jack. That blue bag you see has bungee cords in it. I keep a jumper cables in there. I keep a ball in there in case I want to hook up a trailer. And here's another bay right here. We call this our play bay. That's our bike cover, actually, a nice bike cover we use for traveling. Otherwise, we keep our hiking sticks in there, a couple of backpacks for hiking. We keep a, well, just whatever. We toss our pickleball paddles in when we're traveling. This is just a, like I said, our play bay. And this front cargo area, typically I keep DEF in here, and our cleaning goods. I always keep a bottle of the Aero Cosmetics in here, and a towel. And then I keep our wheel covers in here, and a 5-gallon race can that I sometimes put 5 gallons of gas in case we're traveling out in the middle of nothing. And because Diane now follows behind in the car, I sometimes keep 5 gallons of gas just in case, right? All right, so hopefully you can see in those bays with this sunshine, and I'm looking forward to coming out this evening and shooting some shots at night with the lights on. All right, stick around for that. All right, so let me share some numbers with you. So, as I mentioned, this is a 2018 Ram 5500. It has a 6.7 liter turboed Cummins engine. It's backed up by a 6-speed Aisin transmission, and we're running 488 gears. And that combination with Ram makes this a max tow package. So here are some numbers. I'm going to go through my cheat sheets. So this truck with this setup is rated for a gross vehicle weight rating of 19,500 pounds. So this truck, fully loaded with fuel, cargo, and Diane and I sitting in the seats, weighs in at 11,000 pounds. So if we add the pin weight of our current fifth wheel of 4,680 pounds, that puts us at 15,500 pounds, well within the 19,500 pound weight rating. The gross combined weight rating for this truck is 38,500 pounds. So with our truck being 11,000 pounds, and if we add the weight of our current fifth wheel, we weigh in at 35,560 pounds. So again, well within the 38,500 pound weight rating. The rear axle weight rating, which is where most people end up getting in trouble, is 13,500 pounds. So with our current fifth wheel hooked up to the truck, We weigh in at 12,220 pounds on the rear axle. So again, well within the 13,500 pounds. The front axle is rated at 7,250 pounds. Typically not an issue when you're pulling a fifth wheel, the front axle weight rating. But regardless, we weigh in at 5,780 pounds, 5,780 pounds, with our fifth wheel hooked up, so well within the weight limits of 7,250 pounds. And the maximum trailer weight that this truck is rated to pull is 29,670 pounds. So our current fifth wheel, fully loaded, with our current battery bank, solar, washer dryer, and about 20 gallons of water, and empty gray and black, which is typically how we travel, it weighs 24,560 pounds. So well within the 29,670 pound weight rating. So this truck's a workhorse. It matches up very well with our current setup. So take that in consideration with the wide track front end that comes with the 5500 and the great turning radius it gives us. And by the way, I did a video on the turning radius a while back. I'll put a link to that down below in the description in case you care to have a look. So between that and all the numbers coming into play perfectly, the Kelderman air ride in the back, this is a great truck for our combination. So, all right, the next segment, I'm going to wait till this evening, and I'm going to do a video of all of our lights on in the cargo bays. I looked at the video I just did on showing our cargo bays in the sunlight. Didn't turn out very well. I apologize for that. Hopefully the nighttime video will turn out much better. All right, stay tuned. I'll be back. All right, so I have no idea how this camera does in the dark, but we're going to find out. So I'm going to go inside the truck. I'm going to turn on some lights in the back and give you an idea what they're like back there. So hang on. Here we go. All right, so these are the LED lights on the back of the truck. And the side bed light. So you get a good idea how bright they are. So if we ever have to hook up at nighttime, we can certainly see that hitch. Look how well it lights up those trees in the back. They're very, very bright. All right, we're going to go to the next stage now. Hang on. All right, now we'll give you an idea what it's like with the cargo bay lights on as well. So we still have the LEDs on the back of the cab on a headache rack on. And then keep in mind that if we're backing up, there's a couple of really bright LED lights above those two lights on the headache rack. So if we have to back up and hook up the trailer, it's really bright. But anyway, here's an idea of the cargo lights, the cargo bay. There's our toolbox bay, the DEF fill right there. Here's the cargo bay that I keep things in, like the torque wrench and that type of thing I told you about, right? Here's our cargo bay for our fire extinguisher and typically our leveling blocks. And there's our miscellaneous tools with our bungee cords, bottle jack, and jumper cables, some other miscellaneous. Here is our play box. And the bay, the box that we keep the DEF and oddball things, tire covers in. So, as you can see, it really lights up nicely. All right, well, I guess that concludes the video on our Ram 5500. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I enjoy showing it, so hopefully you enjoyed watching it. I can't count the times we stop off at a gas station just to fuel up, and somebody will come over and talk about the truck, or get to a campground, somebody wants to talk about the truck. Of course, you know, boys love to talk about their toys, so hopefully you enjoyed it. That's it. So, hey, once again, I'm going to ask you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you found any use at all or enjoyed this video at all, please hit that subscribe button right down here, or maybe it's right over there, I don't know where it is. And give us a thumbs up. And leave a comment. Ask any questions you want to ask. I'll be happy to answer. I will answer all comments. So that's it. Have a good day. We'll see you in the next video.